Hi there, it's Dr. Susan Bernstein from Work From Within, and I want to ask you, what do you think the future of work holds? Maybe you have some ideas about what you'll be doing in the future or how work will look in the future, but one thing I know for sure, the future of work is getting more and more uncertain. We have so many variables out there moving so fast, technology moving fast, more people, cultural change, all kinds of demographic trends. There's a lot going on. And if the pace of uncertainty is getting faster, that's harder and harder for most of us to deal with. How do we know how to cope with all this change? So, I want to share with you two times in my life that I had to deal with big change in my career. Something, one from the outside, one from kind of the inside, that gave me some perspective on what it takes to change. And then I want to share with you some ideas that you can use if you're dealing with change and some things you actually do proactively. So let me take you back to 1989. For some of you, you'll remember that China was in turmoil at that time. I was working in Hong Kong for the Institute for International Education, and my manager there offered me the chance to open a Beijing office. And I thought, wow, I was young in my early 20s, and I thought, wow, this is so cool. I love this chance. So I packed up and spent 2 weeks traveling around China while Tiananmen Square was happening. When I came back to Hong Kong, I found out that the U.S. Department of Education had broken ties with the Chinese Ministry of Education over the Tiananmen Square incident. Something totally outside of my control. And that job that I was going for was gone, never to come back like that. I went to Taiwan to see if I could get a job like that. We don't have diplomatic ties from the U.S. to Taiwan. And so, I really didn't know what to do. But I looked inside and I said, well, what skills, talents, and abilities do I have that I discovered? And at that point, I discovered that one of the things I really loved doing was public speaking. And I parlayed that experience, my abilities in public speaking, into a career as a corporate trainer with a company that's now become Franklin Covey, the organizer people. So I got creative about what I already had in my toolkit, what things I already brought to the world, and changed those. More recently, in 2001, I went back to school after an MBA and almost 20 years in the corporate world in management consulting and marketing and executive development roles. I went back to school in 2001 for a PhD in somatic psychology. And my third year in that program was doing my clinical internship, and I realized this is horrendously hard. I worked with a suicidal 9-year-old and a 10-year-old boy who had dissociative identity disorder, what we also call multiple personality disorder. And working with them just broke my heart, and I realized, oh my gosh, being a psychotherapist means sitting in a room, one after one, seeing people who are depressed and anxious. And I really admire people who can do that, but I realized I couldn't do that. I didn't have it in me to do all day long. And I wanted to work with people about more forward-looking issues, more positive issues. So here I'd done 3 years of training, and I paid for this program. And what did I do? Again, I went back to what is it I love. And I did love working with people, but I wanted to work with something positive. And I'd been doing some work on the side at UC Berkeley, counseling MBA students about their careers. And I realized I love career as an issue. So that's when I started Work From Within, the business that I run now. And I'm reinventing myself right now. With the economic downturn, I have fewer and fewer clients coming to me for career change. And quite honestly, that's an issue that's gotten to be kind of old for me. So I'm reinventing myself about something I've cared about passionately, read about, talked to people about over the last 10 years, which is the future of work. And so that's what you're going to be seeing me do more of. And today I'm talking to you about that. So here's the thing. When we're in uncertainty, the thing to fall back on is, what am I good at? What do I love? And I'm going to invite you to get practical and write yourself lists of those. So write yourself a list of what you love, because that's a place to look for your next steps. So you've got them in hand whenever you're hit with uncertainty. And 2 is a list of skills. And I want you to get as extensive as you can about those. Not just skills you know how to do in your business life, like make a presentation, analyze a spreadsheet, talk to a CEO, whatever it is you do know how to do, but put together a list of everything you know how to do, from your personal life, from your friend life, from your around the house life, from your hobbies. Because then you know you've got something to look at when things get tumultuous and changing. You've got a place to come back to. I want to ask you, how do you deal with uncertainty in your own career? What are stories that you've got from your own history? Love to hear those because those are going to help other people. And what is it that you can be doing to deal with that uncertainty now? Leave your answers here on the blog. I'd love to hear from you, and I promise to respond back to your comments. Thanks a lot. Take care, everybody.